Hey there, it's John from Heroes and Legends. Today we have the last Commander 2016 unboxing video to look at. If you've been watching this series, you know that basically this is just an unboxing video. We're opening this up, we're looking at the product, what you can expect if you buy this. We're not necessarily going into a detailed deck review or anything like that. I've already done that. So check out the channel for the playlist. All 5 of these decks I've done a really in-detail review of. I'll also link at the end of this video to the review for this deck at the very least, in case you want to learn more about my thoughts on it. So, however, we will open everything and we'll also go through the deck, and I'll give you some highlights or some thoughts as we go through. But again, the more detailed evaluation will be in the other video. First off, like always, you get your oversized 4-color commander. This is Braya. And looks fantastic. I love these. I mean, I don't know what to do with these, quite honestly. I mean, I just end up accumulating these things, but I think they look cool. So there you go. All right, let's open up the box. We have our poster. We'll take a closer look at that in just a second. Get the quick reference card, of course, which you get pretty much with every Magic product nowadays. And before we get to the cards, let's open up the poster. I mean, this is the 5th one of these I've opened. I've been kind of thinking, you know, do I like the posters, the design and everything? I actually think I do. They're smaller than other products have been in the past, but I'm okay with that because the posters can be very cumbersome. Sometimes they're like huge, really hard to fold and unfold. This time around, I mean, you get your information on your commander and your partner commanders, which is really awesome. A little bit of information about commander and how to play the game too. And then on the back, yes, granted, they added some ad space here and took away the original printing kind of parentheses of where each card came from. I'd rather see that than the ads, right? But overall, I think they did a pretty good job downsizing the bulkiness of this a little bit. I'm like totally cool with that. So, all right, cards, let's open them. And it's funny, the first commander deck I opened, the cellophane was like already torn open. All the others have been pretty solid though, so. And it looked like it was just kind of a manufacturing issue, so. But they were fine. All the cards are fine and everything. All right. I'm going to take a moment to zoom in and all, so I will be right back. All right, let's take a look at these cards. We have, of course, our commander, Braya, and I mean, awesome foiling. I'll tell you, I really like this card too. I think she's an awesome commander too, by the way. And I talked a lot about her in the other video, but it feels like maybe she was inspired a little bit by like Umezawa's Jitte. Obviously not crazy broken like that card or anything like that, but just cool because it feels like the inspiration was there. Awesome job with the foiling. No frayed edges, no warping. Good job, Wizards. Thank you. Keep it up. All right, let's look at our partner commanders. We have Akira, another really cool card. Like, this deck in general, I mean, first off, obviously it's an artifact deck. You probably already guessed that by the name Invent Superiority, as well as the first commander we saw. But it's not just a regular artifact deck. I mean, everything they did with these decks this time around, they either did a really unique take on things like the Entropic Uprising deck or the Stalwart Unity deck, which were really kind of unique archetypes that you don't usually see come out of products like this. Or they took an archetype you were kind of familiar with, like artifacts, but put a twist on it. In this case, they kind of did a graveyard twist with artifacts. So, awesome stuff. I mean, great job with this. And here is Bruce Tarl, Boorish Herder. And finally, Silas Wren's Seeker Adept. One of the more maybe popular cards to come out of all the products. You'll find a number of cards, I think, in this product that are a little higher valued coming out of the box, but to be honest, don't let that sway your opinion of the product because they print so many of these things that values will come down fairly quickly. All right, let's look at the tokens. We have a Thopter with a horror on the back. That's actually kind of cool. Get a bird token with a Mer. Bird and Mer. Bird and Mer. Thopter and Goat. For a trading post, that's in here. Spoilers. Thopter and Goat. Thopter and Germ. Thopter and Germ. Thopter, and oh, you get the emblem for your Planeswalker that's coming up. So again, spoilers. So there you go. All right, and you also get another bird with a Mer. All right, so let's get into the rest of these cards. Like the other videos, I'll kind of go through sort of quick. I don't want the video to take forever, but I'll point out the new cards. I'll point out the highlights, that type of stuff. So Ethereum Sculptor. I mean, you can see already where we're going with this, right? So nice reprint. Baleful Strix, always a nice reprint. Trinket Mage, also good. Sanctum Gargoyle. If there's one card probably in this whole deck that embodies what this deck's trying to do, it's this one. It's an artifact creature itself, which is going to provide a lot of bonuses to your board state, but also, when it comes into play, you get to return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. And that's really what you're going to see a whole lot of here. Artifacts going to the graveyard, coming back from the graveyard, that type of thing. Everflowing Chalice, great cube card too. Skull Clamp, awesome whenever they include this. A couple decks have it this time. Soul Ring, always a great inclusion. It's in all the decks again. Here's a pair of artifacts that can sit on the board and just be artifacts, but also have a good ability that could deter your opponent from doing things to you. Cranial Plating, another awesome reprint. Swiftfoot Boots, another good reprint too. Great commander card. Thopter Foundry, of course, in Modern, that is one of the cards that works really well with sort of the Meek, so you're probably familiar with it from there. Warhammer is always good too. All right, Grip of Pyreses, this is one of the new cards. Ancient Excavation, another one of the new cards. We get a split card here from Dragon's Maze, I believe. Trial and Error. Actually, no, this is one of the older ones, because the Dragon's Maze ones had the ability where you could cast both of them. So this is probably from Dissension, I'm going to say. Hopefully I'm right. All right. Whip Flare. Parting Thoughts, another one of the new cards. Migratory Root, another new card. Armory Automaton. There, I spit it out. Another one of the new cards. This one's actually really cool too. Magus of the Will. So last year we got Magus of the Wheel in the commander decks, and one of the commander decks. This time we get Magus of the Will. I was a little surprised not to see this show up in the Entropic Uprising deck, but it makes sense here in a different way. Like Entropic Uprising, you're throwing a bunch of stuff in your graveyard. This deck, you are also throwing a bunch of stuff in your graveyard. It's less instants and sorceries and more creatures, but that's okay. But pretty cool. I mean, I love this card. Awesome inclusion. Fairy Artisans. Curse of Vengeance, another one of the new cards. And here's our Undaunted card for the deck. Coastal Breach. Each of the decks have an Undaunted card. This is the blue one you get in this deck, so you get one of each color based on whichever deck you're playing. So this one's awesome. They're all awesome. I love the fact that you can have a card that's more powerful in a multiplayer game than it would be in a single player game. Great design here. Interesting reprint here too. I thought this was a real nice inclusion. Got a couple mythics. Oh, she was a mythic too, Sidra. Yeah. So we got a few mythics here. Either Sworn Educator. Soul of New Pyrexia. I mean, it's no Wormcoil engine, so upgrade alert. If you want to put Wormcoil in here over this, it'd probably be better, but still a good card. Hellkite Tyrant. A lot of mythics in this one. Mythic from one of the original set that had mythics, I believe, Shards of Alara. So there you go. Duretti Scrap Savant. Now this was one of the commanders that came in the Commander 2014 product. Those were all single color decks, and the main card in those decks were a Planeswalker. And the red deck had this one. Now this is the only one that's been reprinted actually ever. So that's pretty cool. It's also a nice cube card. You see this played in a lot of cubes, which is cool. So nice little inclusion there. Chief Engineer. All right, move through some of these rares a little quicker. Master of Ethereum, nice inclusion. This card, again, it's going down in value now that it's being reprinted here, but this was up there around the $8-10 mark, so it wasn't cheap. Hannah Ship's Navigator, it's a reprint, but it's a reprint with the promo art, which is awesome. It's by Trace Nielsen. Great inclusion here. Glad they went with this art. Really awesome. You get a Solemn. There you go. Godo. Godo is actually a good card. I mean, I don't think this deck takes advantage really of what Godo can do, obviously because you're not playing with samurais, but if you have ever played with this card, especially in a samurai theme or something like that, it's quite good. Quite a good card. Naveneral's Disc, Trading Post, that's a classic at this point. Read the Runes, not a bad card either. I mean, there's better draw spells out there. Probably, but that does populate your graveyard too. Beacon of Unrest with new art too, by the way. Open the Vaults. I always like that card. Phyrexian Rebirth. And you get some non-basic land cards next. Exotic Orchard. Oh, or just one. Grave Upheaval, another one of the new cards. And now we're into some basic lands. Basic lands look incredible. Rebecca Guay, Mark Poole, and Kev Walker art. They are phenomenal. So I will say that, if nothing else, this product knocked it out of the park with these lands. They're beautiful. So I'll go through them kind of quick. You've seen them all if you've watched the other videos at this point, considering there's three cycles, one for each artist. Okay, here's the rest of our non-basic lands. Ash Baron's one of the new cards as well. Getting some bounce lands here. Command Tower, of course. Darksteel Citadel, a nice inclusion there. Seed of Synod, interesting because there's a whole cycle of these. They only gave you the blue one, though, or the one that taps for blue mana. So, want to talk upgrades real quick. Super easy upgrade. Get the other 3 of these that fit into this deck, and that's a huge upgrade just on its own. And finally, we wrap things up with Temple of the False God. Nice card too. So, so that's the deck. That's what you can expect from this product. Now, just real quickly, my thoughts on the deck in general. Looks like a ton of fun. I mean, I always loved Esper. I mean, I love artifacts builds. So this is going to be really fun to play, I think. If I wanted to upgrade, I already mentioned what you could do with lands. That one, I don't know why they didn't just do that. Maybe it just playing against the others out of the box, maybe it made it too powerful. I don't know. But, yeah, having the other 3 lands, the artifact lands in here would be great. That would give you a total of 5 artifact lands. As long as you count the Citadel, that's kind of awesome. So, that's a great start. There's other things that buff artifacts out there, obviously, that are going to be great for you. Other things that can bring artifacts back from the graveyard. But really, I kind of want to play with this deck first to kind of see what it's missing. I do feel like it is maybe a little weak to maybe like mass removal, like board sweep, something like that. So I don't know if you'd like to try to find a way to protect yourself against something like that, like throw in some counter magic or something along those lines. But for the most part, I think this really awesome build out of the box, quite honestly. So I feel that with all these decks, like I feel like they could hold their own in a multiplayer game for the most part, as long as you're not in a super spiky play group. I think all of these could win a game in average play groups. But of course, they all are upgradable too. So having said that, that's the last deck. So this has been really fun looking at this product, and like I've said before, one of my favorite products of the year. Awesome to see it, and thanks for watching these videos and spending the time with me to go through these decks. Until next time, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks as always for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.